Good morning, Twitch. Happy Friday. You might even say a good Friday. Today we're building a training wheel 40 because I love 40% keyboards and I like training wheels, but also because it lets me use the set that I've been holding on to. Technically, I just got it, but it's been a while. But JTK Night Sakura, which is Japan inspo. Just gotta park the caffeine over there. But yeah, look at this PCB. It's got like this sick ass pattern on it. It does kind of make it hard to see some of the components on here. Yeah, I am streaming. What a concept. Oh yeah, and then there's the they did like some more changes to Phasmo, so we can do that later tonight too. That might be on stream too. We'll see. But yeah, take a look at this. Take a look at the PCB before I completely fuck it up with my solder. So designed by P3D, aka Jake, and Noblesse Oblige, aka Taylor, aka Eternus. But that's the side that's going to be on the back. The side that the switches actually go onto is just pretty blank. So there's not really a lot going on here. And we got Night Sakura, so got these novelties. We got these space bars because we're going to be using a split space bar today. Where's the actual main kit? There you are. Here's the actual main kit. So it actually comes in this like pretty like sick tray. It's a black polycarbonate or smoke. So it's actually a little bit lighter than what you're seeing. But double shot ABS. It's kind of that like dusty pink. I don't know if the lighting kind of can show that off, but I'm pretty excited again because if you got this from the US vendor, like it's still shipping right now, but I got it from the Chinese vendor, Z Frontier, and I got it like in January. So I spent 4 months just kind of holding on this and just waiting. I literally had all the pieces to build this keyboard, but life happens. So ignoring that, let's start building. So, and then I already did the switch lubing and filming and all that stuff, so we'll go ahead and just skip that today. These are Gatoron inks, kinda heavy-ish switches, but not really. Lubed, filmed, all ready to go. But what I really want to show off is the stacked acrylic case, because I spent like months trying to figure out how to make this color combination like really work. And then when I got it, it's a little bit what's it called? It was originally a little bit duller than I had originally imagined, but we got it to work. The secret is I put like a layer of vinyl on the back of this one, so it's like a solid instead of like a see-through. Also, I learned from the other acrylic builds And I pre-peeled all of the plastic, so it's all just ready to build. Like as soon as it all goes through. But we'll save this case for later because it's case building time. Just separate these out so I can get to the plate. The plate will work with pretty soon here, but the rest of it can get put off to the side for now. Oh. And there is something that I need to fix, but we'll get to the case when we get to the case. So, as most of these builds go, where did I put you? We'll try something a little different today. Gonna break out the whiteboard here. Oh, hello, goodbye. So, we're on step 1, which is lube the stabilizers. Oh, it's a little small on the screen. Just kind of zoom in there. So these are the equals PCB screw-in stabilizers version 3. There's been a lot of revisions to these because of tolerance issues and stuff like that. But this is the latest version, which should retain compatibility with most keycap profiles. The issue with like the first couple of revisions was like they were binding because they were like too tightly spec'd, which caused problems with like some keycaps that weren't in spec, like the KAT profile. They had they had some problems with. Also, what they did with this one. So, oh, a little bright. Come on, you can do it. What if I zoom in more? So, there's this part where you would put the screw through the PCB in to affix the stabilizer to the PCB. Before it was plastic, but now they put like a metal threaded insert in there, so you're not threading through plastic essentially, which I would say is a good thing. And then they did include the sticker film here, so that's been a thing since the first one. But before it was just like a regular like sticker looking sticker. Now it's a proper stabilizer shaped sticker. This is my first time seeing like a cutout in the middle of it, so we'll see how that affects things. Not too much, I would imagine, but we'll see. Also, look at me. I got the black VTuber gloves. I'm a VTuber now. We'll need the wires. We won't need the screws or the washers till later. So we'll need our lube of choice. I need some more caffeine. Lube stabilizers with your lube of choice. Mine, again, and as it probably will be forever, will be Super Lube, just because it's really cheap per bottle and it does what it's supposed to do, which is dampen noise. The gloves are also here so that I don't like stain my hands or my clothes or anything with the lubricant. So that's me learning from past mistakes. What a concept. Let's take you back in. Mr. Caroso, what are you up to today? How's life? Huh, the hole on this one is a little bit more open than usual. We'll see how this affects the lube once I plug it up on the inside. I'm going to use 4 stabilizers today because I need one for the shift, 2 for the space bars, 1 for the enter key. Adding 2 fans to your PC to help cooling. Oh yeah, that's because you got that fucking beast ass and 3090 now. Real gamer shit. Oh, hello. There we go. Are you going straight for the Corsair LLs with the RGB and shit, or are you a Noctua boy? I forget. Does your case have like the open window on it? Oop. Where am I? There you are. Two. So we need 8 of them. 8, and then there's 4 2-unit wires, which is essentially what I need. In a typical build, the 2 spacebar wires, the 2 short ones, would probably be going to the spacebar, or no, not the spacebar, to the right shift key and the backspace, because they're fucking huge. But this keyboard doesn't have those, so we get to repurpose those short stabilizers to the spacebars. Two Corsair RGB fans, putting 2 fans to pull off your broken H100. Oh hell yeah. Those ones are just black though, right? The H100 fans by default. I feel like I need tweezers to work on these things. Where? There we go. We're learning. Oh, the H100 fans are also RGB? Oh, hell yeah. So it should all just be under the same should all just be under the same software, right? Yeah, got the real gamer RGBs. Let's go. Where am I gonna put you? Trying to put the PCB somewhere where I won't knock it over the table. Damn IQ, what they're trying to be like a smart. Got that smart lighting. They should integrate smart lighting like what like what the Hue system does, the Philips Hue system. So it's like if you get shot, then your whole PC just turns red. Now that's a real gamer. I also picked up a new BGM track that'll pop up in the cycle eventually. But it got updated like really recently, so it'll be a nice one. Six. Dropping my spaghetti. Wow, Yuzu, thanks for subscribing for 13 months. How's it popping? Also, why is my camera a little underexposed? Is it because I have all these lights on? If I turn this off. Oh, you can control the shit with the Asus stuff? Okay. I didn't know it was like oh, sorry. I didn't know it was software agnostic. It is not poppin'. Dude, mood. This is like my first real off day in like a while. Like I could stream Gundam because it was like late night, but for stuff like keyboards like this, gotta do it in the daytime while I have enough energy to do it, to stream for like a few hours at a time. And that just has not been happening lately. I get it. Also, these are lavender colored stabilizers that are going into a cherry pink build. So these are kind of not thematic, but close enough. Yeah. Yeah, this is going to be tomorrow is going to be my fourth closing Saturday in a row, which is kind of nuts. Like all of my coworkers were like on vacation. So I got kind of stuck with the crap shifts. Just because of how like all the schedules and stuff line up. So not great. All right, we got extras. We can put these over to the side. Can start popping wires in now. Too tired to do shit when I get home. Story of my fucking life. Oh, these are like really freaking shiny. Look at that. Actually blinging out. Gotta grease up the wire and then grease up the hole once it goes in. Oh yeah, that's something that they also fix with these with this new revision of stabilizers is it's way harder to have the wire pop out. But subsequently it's also a lot harder to pop the wire in. Oops. So, you know, you got to take the chance to chill while we can. And actually take the chance to sit down and build some keyboards. Go in. There we go. All right, and then we open it from the front side. Plug that up and plug this up. Honestly, part of the good thing about smaller keyboards like this is usually there's less stabilizers to have to deal with. And I also don't have to use like the really long keys, which are a lot harder to tune than the smaller keys. So that makes this a lot easier. Maybe if I lubricate both sides of the wire first and then pop it in, maybe that might help. Let's see. Let's try it out. And then usually, or not usually, on the topic of lubricant choice for stabilizers specifically, there's like this new stabilizer lubricant. I think it's it's like some weird name, like BHTXDZ or something like that. But it's made by the same guys who make the regular stuff, Crytox. But it's like a lot more viscous, and I guess it also stays in place a lot better. But it's also like a lot more expensive. Like there's a where am I? Like a small jar of it. Like this is roughly, I want to say 10 milligrams. I think that's what they use as a measurement for this stuff. But anyway, like a jar of 10 milligrams is like $20. Whereas the stuff that I'm using is like an 8-ounce bottle, and it's like $6 that I got at like Harbor Freight. Like I've been using the exact same bottle since I've started building and collecting keyboards, and it still hasn't let me down yet. So these people can take their $20 premium lubes and foam pads and stuff like that. They can shove it. Because in my opinion, even though the large keys are the hardest to tune and also like like some of the more important ones, they really shouldn't be worth spending that much more on. Like doing this amount of tuning, I feel is like a good stopping point. Cuz you don't use, well, I don't know. I'd say you use WASD just as much as you use the spacebar. Or if you play Ready or Not, like milsim stuff, you're not even using you're not even jumping anyway. Also, I'm losing tracking. And also, there's a cat yelling outside. It's been out there for like a couple of weeks now. Like dead ass, like every like 1 a.m., 2 a.m. It'll just be out there like, Wah! I'm pretty sure it's like the neighbor's cats. But they just like go ape shit for like 5 minutes and then they just stop. It's really weird. All right, well, this portion of the stream is done. Now for the full for the full build is subscriber only. Even though both of you are subscribers. Let's see. What am I doing next? Installing the switches and the stabilizers. Also, I'm kind of doing this because it'll help me timestamp the VOD later once I upload this to YouTube. Hi, YouTube. How's it going? All right, back to the PCB. Again with the sick ass training wheel pattern on it. P3D logo. That's the store that ran the group buy and also assembles the cases and kits and stuff like that. Shout outs to Jake. Shout outs to P3D store. Oh yeah, one of the other things too. So this is a palm plate. So it's a plastic kind of flexi plate. This helps kind of make a little bit of a deeper noise or a deeper sound to the typing, and also is a little bit more comfortable. However, it is a little bit tricky to install switches and stuff in this plate because it flexes, like they don't pop in right. So what I did was I 3D printed this plate support fork. I'll show it off a little bit more later, but I support the plate with the fork like this and then pop the switches in so that it doesn't like flex, so that the switches actually seat into the plate. Like that's one of the more recent developments in the keyboard scene in a way. P3D is making their own forks for their orders, but I got this before they started doing that, so I found the print file online and then made my own. But yeah, other than keyboards, that's kind of what I've been doing lately is tuning my 3D printer as much as possible, which is an exercise in how do you call it? not futility, an exercise in patience. So I had my printer dialed in and I was like printing a bunch of stuff, but earlier this month there was a sale on clear filament. So I can print like 3D transparent stuff now, but it's been so much of a hassle trying to actually print it because it doesn't really stick to the bed as well. Um, let me grab my thingy here. Where am I? There I am. Like this is the PLA that I've been using. Well, PLA plus, but I've got it dialed in except for like a few surface marks here and there. But otherwise it prints like pretty darn perfect. But here's the clear filament that I am using now, which if you are looking at it through the camera, looks a little white. And you would be right. It's not very clear. So I'm still trying to dial things in. But there's some like weird stringy bits. Still have to finish dialing in this material before I get it to start running up and normal again. But oops. Yeah, that's what I've been doing pretty recently over the last month. So let's see here. This is... Oh yeah, I do gotta cop some stickers. Yeah, help me test my vinyl cutter. So this is a little bit new to be. I'll be real honest. I'm not really sure what's going on with all of these different kinds of stickers and stuff like that. I know these ones go in the middle of these stickers because that's what they look like. But I don't know what's going on with the rest of these. We'll figure that out maybe later. There's also no documentation or anything for them, so I'll assume that this is like on a as needed basis. Let's see here. So first is this one. Why is this really hard to peel off? This is kind of like a felt-esque texture. It also needs to be weeded a little bit more properly. Okay. Sorry, this is like my first time opening up this this stabilizer pack, so I'm like, what the hell is going on here? Doesn't even really show up on camera that well versus the blue PCB. Okay. Touchdown on one. That was a little bit more fighting than a little bit more fighting the sticker than I'm used to. Maybe I take the insides off of the sticker sheet first and then go? Maybe? Something like that. I honestly might just switch to back to cutting my own sticker films for the not so distant future. I also had sort of the idea to build 2 keyboards on this stream, but that's too much content for 1 month. All right, got that sticker out of there. Like, it's really weird because it like doesn't really feel that tacky at all. Regulicious. Oh, hey. Yeah, I do have an absinthe. Thanks for stopping by. Yeah. Thanks for designing that. Let me pop that on stream for a sec. Other room. Okay. Yeah, I'll be real. I haven't been using this as much because it's such a large board, but I did put GMK Future Funk on it. I did originally have GMK Vaporwave on here, but Future Funk came through and I didn't have the 40s kit for it, and it seems to fit the theme well enough on here. This is still probably one of the best sounding boards that I own. Just pop a few keys on here real quick. But yeah, definitely a super fun, super nice sounding board. Like if this was smaller, I would be using it a lot more. And there we go. And basically that's kind of what the goal for today's board is to kind of recreate some of the concepts in this, the stacked acrylic, but in a format that I'm actually using a little bit more. Yeah, I got in on like the one of the initial runs back when Keyhive like first announced it. I was like, oh crap, I need that. But yeah, shout outs from California. Oh. Gotta flip this back around. Just notice I installed this upside down. Whoops. Yeah, so far this has been a little bit more fiddly of a install process with these stickers. But I am glad that they included it. Let's get that on there. I was about to say, "Oh, I'm done," but I forgot there's still an enter key and a shift key. Oop, yeah, thanks for the follow. Thanks for stopping by. The design process of the Absinthe was this time between Keyhive coming up with the layout I wanted to do and having functioning first prototype was 2 weeks. Holy crap, that's pretty quick. Especially now that I'm in the 40% Discord server. Like 2 weeks is a really quick turnaround from design to prototype. And I bet the acrylic cutting was probably like a really good way to shave off some of that time. Because to be real honest, I really do like the aesthetics of like a separated arrow key, separated like navigation area. So having like a, what do they call that? Function row less, FRL. Absolutely do. Unassembled PCV's Keyhive has his own laser. Yeah, true. That was also my first time ever working with an Elite C, building that board, which I can understand why. Like, I can understand why the Elite C is a thing. Like, past the initial, past the main thing is that it uses USB-C. But also kind of breaking out some more of those at Mega 32U 4 pins, which are kind of a waste on the original Pro Micro design. But that's probably, yeah, go back and update that thing to use an onboard controller. Yeah, I would say go for it. I know there's been a couple of other F-rollless builds kind of recently, but the thing that I like about the Absinthe is how accessible it was. I don't know how things with I know what's it called? Like microprocessors are still like really hard to come by right now. So I don't know if that's I don't know if that's a good time to go built-in or to go onboard controller rather. I guess you could use the STM chips. I know those have been pretty popular recently. Have you seen the new Raspberry Pi? What's the moniker for these ones? The RP 2040s? I think QMK is going to get semi-official support for it soon. I know they did a whole thing with it where they like sectioned off some of the some of the flash memory to kind of act as the EEP ROM. So that's on the come up, and the actual chips themselves are pretty inexpensive, especially nowadays. Yeah, thanks for stopping by. Thanks for taking a look, and thanks for the follow. Have a good rest of your day. Let's see here. So then I need these ones. I don't know what the function of these stickers are, but I do know that I need this sticker, and then I need this one to go on the I need these ones to go on the inside of these. So let's see how this goes. Come on. There we go. Pop in just a little bit more. So I can kind of understand why they're doing this kind of like dual layer construction. I know the stickers are there to sort of um, decrease the clearance for the stabilizer housing so that they aren't supposed to rattle. And then the pads dampen the downstroke of the actual slider part themselves. We'll see how much it actually makes a difference, because in my build so far, it's been more the plugging of the inner stabilizer slider with lubricant that's been helping out the most in terms of like making it a consistent sound profile. So I'm very curious to see how this all works out. Maybe this is supposed to be a sticker for like the inside of the. Let me look this up. C3 stabilizers. Version 3. What am I getting myself into here? Do 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 do. Okay, stickers. Okay. Nylon construction, stabilizer accessories. Stem landing mat. Oh, stem landing mat. Okay. Wire dampening mat. Oh, okay, I understand. This is for the new hit Holy Meme mod, I think. Let me just pop up on this screen looking at here. So okay, so I could have used the initial like the initial sticker middle bits. So 0.2 millimeter, 0.3 millimeter. I think I only got one thickness to that. And then what are these for? Poron Teflon wire sound dampening mat. Interesting. That's a lot of pieces. I'll be real honest. That's probably a little bit more than I want to go for. More sound dumping mat could make it mushy. True. Yeah, we'll just keep this as is. I'm I'm a boomer, so I don't need any of these like sticker anything. It's all wild. Anyway, spent a little bit more time on this than I really wanted to, so let's kind of speed up the stabilizer part. Where is this? You go in there. You go in there. So it feels like, okay, yeah, it's like a real tight fit. Like they won't stay in. So I'll have to screw each of them in individually before we keep going here. So we'll open up the washers. Open up the screws. These are the first time I've seen copper colored screws, by the way. Look at that. Copper anodization. Oh yeah. Got that. What is this, a Phillips head? Survey says yes. Okay. All right. So thread 2, washer to thread, thread to PCB. Definitely feels a lot more secure of a screw in. I think that was the main thing missing from the equals stabilizers, is that threaded insert. Not so sure how I feel about the rest of the additions that were on there, but we'll go with what we know. Do, do. Come on. Get in there. Okay. No issues so far. Looks like they've all seated in properly. Now get the second half, third pair. It's fair enough to say, right? These ones are flipped compared to the spacebar ones. So I'll also talk about a little bit on the design philosophy of this one as well, on this keyboard. So the reason I got the Absinthe, the other keyboard that we were talking about, it was because it's an F-row-less keyboard which used base kit keys. So when I say base kit, we say like the kind of keys that you would find on like a regular keyboard, for example. Regular size enters, regular size shift, regular size keys, which are a lot easier to procure, a lot easier to a lot easier to procure, and also a lot less expensive as a result. This keyboard, the Training Wheel 40, kind of follows that same philosophy in that it's using all base kit compatible keys. Oh, this the silk printing is kind of tripping me out. But essentially, 40% keyboards, because they're so small, they do use some non-standard key sizes. Like, for example, the Minivan series line uses most famously a 1.75 unit backspace in order to fit with the rest of the PCB. Steph Things, hey, thanks for the follow. Thanks for stopping by. How are you doing today? How's it going? We're building tiny keyboards here. And I'm also talking about tiny keyboards because it's my favorite flavor of keyboard. But yeah, this keyboard in particular, the Training Wheel 40, uses a regular size shift over here, a regular size enter. It's using a 1.5. Flipped. Shift, enter, 1.5 unit backspace. Because that's the kind that you would find on a regular 60%, 10 keyless, full size keyboard. Just doing the back of the house VTuber stuff. Gotcha. I totally get it. I'm doing just fine. This is a rare day off of like actual work for me, so I'm taking the time to actually build a keyboard. Because, God knows I can't find the time to. I don't know how people stream while having like actual jobs and stuff, like 40 hours a week retail. From the bottom up, we are building a keyboard from the bottom up. Yeah. So PCB. So this is the brain where most of the stuff happens. And then we're going to put the keycaps on. We're going to put the case on. We're going to put the switches on. This is my coffee. Tired most of the time. Yo, same. As I slam another shot of Monster. I don't even like the taste. It's just the caffeine content that keeps me going. I just drink Monster because it's like the least offensive energy drink. And it also isn't like super hyper loaded like some of these newer ones. Like Bang. Ain't no way I'm doing that. Let's see. Oh yeah. Switches. Here we go. Like C4, oh my goodness. C4 is nuts. I can't do that. I'm not 18 anymore. I can't handle that much caffeine in such a short amount of time. Oop. Oh, hold on. We'll back out just a little bit here. Get these out because it tastes better than Monster. I'll give it a shot. But the reason I like Monster Zero Ultra, not product placement by the way, is because it's less of like an energy drink jet fuel sort of taste. Like this one has almost like a lychee-ish sort of feel, sort of taste to it, which I'm okay with. Usually on stream I'll have like a cup of coffee or something like that. Oop. Here's one of the things I have to pay attention for. So if you look on the inside here, so the two metal pins have to make sure that they stand up before we solder it in. Yeah, Monster Light. I can't drink regular Monster either. Like, I get why they do like such a sugary taste, but I just can't do it anymore. I'm too not young. There was also another one that I was drinking before this, like the Rockstar Organic. You can say you're old. I don't want to admit that I'm old. I still go to the arcade. I still build keyboards. We do esports stuff. Neither do I, but my knees are telling me I'm old. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Alright, got one row down. So that's what this plate support fork that I printed is for, by the way. So because this plate is so flexy. Me like that. A lot of the times, if I try and put a switch in, it just kind of pushes the plate down and it doesn't snap in correctly. So what the fork is here to do is to support the plate from the bottom so that it'll actually seat in properly into the plate. So that's what this is for. Again, a fairly new invention in the keyboard realm because of the rise of flexier, like more plasticky materials. A few years ago, when like the whole custom keyboard thing was starting, everybody used aluminum plates, which were stiff enough that we didn't need to use stuff like this. But as the switch science kind of improved and people kind of figured out what works and what didn't work for like keyboard materials, people started to realize that a flexier like plastic plate gives like a deeper, more thocky kind of sound, and also like a more comfortable feel. Because that was also kind of the thing back in the day too, was that you weren't really supposed to bottom out when you press the key. Like you weren't supposed to press down all the way and hit plastic to plastic. You were just supposed to sort of float over it. But let me kind of give an example here. Shout outs to Mario Hara. But you were supposed to just press down. Oop. Supposed to press down, but not like go all the way down, because you're kind of tiring yourself out. You're supposed to just go like this when typing, and not so much, full force, press down all the way kind of a thing. But of course, hobbies change, typing habits change. You get a oops. Click clack makes my brain go burr. Maybe that should be like something I do with the new follow. I'll just like that should be my new follower sound. Yeah, it's just like a bunch of here, let me like that. Wouldn't that be fun? Oh shit, hydrate. You're right. Let's go. Speaking of back of house stuff, that also did remind me. I do have to set up some more Twitch redeems for stuff like I just got that Twitch integrated throwing system thing, but I haven't installed it yet because I'm lazy, and also I got it on my gaming computer but not my crafting computer yet. But I could totally start integrating that into the rewards. Like, I do have a lot of stuff that I have to work on for the stream too. I do intend to replace my current overlay. This was kind of like one that I threw together because I wanted to have something for like a full size camera like this for when I do desk streams. I've already revamped my gaming overlay. But I have to sort of change this overlay to kind of make it fit with my current theme per se. Oop, come on. Oh, I pushed this fork in a little too far. So, I'll say so far using this thing has improved my keyboard building experience considerably. Because before I would have to fight to sort of prop up the plate and start putting the keys from the inside out and just a whole bunch of other weird stuff. But this has been a better experience, I'll say. And the escape key. Nope, I gotta use the fork here too. There we go. And put that down. All right. Do, 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 do. Down. Oop, a little bit of a bent pin there. And then that goes there, I believe. I think. Where is my... Sorry, gotta reference the... Gotta reference the document here. Do, do, do. Oop, this one kind of popped out too. Get in there. Oh, these ones are also kind of popping up because there's nothing to hold them down. They can't be contained. Meaning they're not secured on all four sides of the plate like most of the other switches on this board. Little wonky, but not something impossible to deal with. That one should go there. And this one should go here. And one more. This should go, I believe, right there. Maybe? Uh, believe in the me that believes in you. True. Here's what we'll do. We'll use the space bars. To reference where these switches are supposed to go. So let's see. This one's 2.25, so that's supposed to go right there. This is 2.75, so that goes there, which means that this has to go here. That, and that. Okay. All right, that makes sense. There we go. We'll save this for later. We have to kind of slog through the buildy stuff before we get to the fun decorating part. Okay. Now, all the switches are installed. Now we get to the fun soldering part. BRB? All right, no problemo. Oh yeah, let me just pop the whiteboard on screen so that I can timestamp the VOD later. Soldering. Yay. I should really do this like on an overlay, but ain't nobody got time for that. All right, so just going to do a final check. Look down the rows of pins just to make sure that all the pins made it through. Because if one kind of got folded down and is squished between the PCB and the bottom half of the switch, then that kind of makes it not work, and that's not good. So far I'm pretty sure everything is where it's supposed to be, which will make this an easier experience. Okay, yep, counted everything. Oh, come on. Turn on the soldering iron, turn on the fan. Oh, right, I unplugged that fan. Whoops. Let's see. I do have a fume extractor. Let me find it. Alright. Extractor's on. Now we can go and we do a little hot metal working. We do a little I don't know. What's a funny name for soldering? Spicy wire. Let's kind of tin that up a little bit first. Just gotta put this extractor somewhere where it'll actually reach me. Let's try that. Might be a little loud, but I think I prefer not breathing in smoke to having a non-scuff stream. Having functioning lungs is awesome. Oop, we'll put a little too much on that one. Bring it back in here. Doo 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 doo. Either I haven't tinned my tip enough here, or come on. Maybe my iron's a little too low. Here, we'll desolder this real quick. I put a little bit too much on this one. It's kind of... yeah, this joint right here is kind of blobbed up a little bit too much, so I put too much on there. It's not technically a problem per se, but if I ever have to diagnose any soldering problems later on, that would definitely fall under the realm of a soldering problem. There we go. That's a lot cleaner of a solder. Takadachi can watch. There we go. Took a little bit for that solder pad to heat up. Also, as a reminder for those newer to building keyboards, don't forget to flash and test your PCB first. Check all the electrical connections before you start soldering switches. That definitely helps a lot in diagnosing issues. Thankfully, I did it before stream because I learned that lesson already. Takadachi's a little too close to the iron. It's probably going to get melted. Alright. This is tangling up a little bit here. Oops. There we go. It's a little bit better to work with. I don't want to jinx it, but so far, doing a good job with avoiding solder splatters getting all over the back of the board. And go. Go. This one's a little tight because it's like all the way, it's kind of mixed in with all of the components that are all stuffed here on this corner. So I also have to make sure I'm not melting like any like resistors or diodes or anything, especially right here next to the microcontroller. If that thing dies, then I will cry. It will not be a good time for anybody involved. Stick, okay. Very good. Very good. Okay. I couldn't see it because of the shadow, but the pin actually is there, just not in the usual spot. Alright. It's kind of bent a little bit forward. But as long as I can solder it down, that's fine. Oh yeah, while I'm soldering this stuff down. So I streamed it once last week, but there was the Gundam Evolution game. That shit was fun. Like it was a what was it, network test, so kind of like a closed beta because you had to apply to get in, but almost everybody that applied got into the beta test. So that first night I played with like a few of my friends, streamed it, had a blast. Just making sure that everything's pressed down all the way before we keep going here. But yeah, Gundam Evolution, if you ever played Overwatch, especially early Overwatch, was I supposed to solder that down? Yes, I was. Okay. Making sure. This switch I have to push down a little bit. Sorry, I keep getting sidetracked by me. But if you remember playing, I'm talking to my mod, you know, I get it. Kind of need, well, I don't need one of those yet because I don't have enough people watching. Yeah, I played Overwatch like a really long while ago, yeah. But essentially, Gundam Evolution felt a lot like Overwatch, like back when it first came out. Like everybody was kind of figuring out what to do. Um, Everything was kind of like very kind of messy, kind of brawly. Um, but overall, it just felt a lot more fun. I don't know if it was because like it was like very fresh at the time, but playing Gundam Evolution did remind me a lot of how I felt when I got into that first Overwatch beta test. Who's your main on Overwatch? Who was my main on Overwatch? Because I kind of switched roles around a lot. I did play a lot of like Anna's and Yada. I did a lot of Winston. Basically like the heroes that were like all meta. Like I was the kind of person who just kind of filled to, flex with the team, and then they introduced the role lock. So you like had to play as a tank or had to play as, support, that kind of thing. Which I guess that kind of soured me on the whole concept, but I get it because not a lot of people, not a lot of people want to play tank. Not a lot of people want to play support. They want to play DPS to get like all those flashy kills and be a Genji main and, run it down mid with Dragon Blade. But the thing about Gundam Evolution is they didn't have like role locks or anything. Yeah, they took away the option to have 5 Bastions and their Lucio to protect them. But what Gundam Overwatch, or I called it Gundam Overwatch, Gundam Evolution, it doesn't like, one, it doesn't have like role restrictions, so yeah, there's no role restrictions, so you can play whatever you want. But also at the same time, they kind of reduce the importance of having dedicated roles. Like for example, you don't really need like a dedicated support healer because a lot of classes have their own support skills to either support themselves or to support other characters. Like there's one, the Dom Trooper, which a close analog would be like Junkrat or Farah, because he has a rocket launcher. He can lay down mines, but he also has like an armor gun, like Brigitte. So you can just give one of your melee focused characters like Barbados or Exia like a little bit of extra armor so that they can run it down mid. You do have like a Mercy-esque character. In this game it's called Mythus. So you have like a heal gun, you have you can fly, and you have like a blaster. But the cool thing about it is you don't have to stop healing to damage. Like you can shoot and heal at the same time. And also you have like a little Torbjorn turret, which all in all, like it doesn't do that much damage like on its own. But if you combine with whoever you're healing, and like, yeah, you just combine with whoever you're healing and you like melt targets pretty fast. And like the thing too is like they play around with accuracy a lot in that game. Mythus's guns are pretty like accurate, but they fire really slow and don't do that much damage. Whereas oh, we're done soldering, by the way. But other options like Pale Rider, Like you lose accuracy pretty fast. Like anything that's not a sniper or Mythos, like you lose accuracy. Um, so that's how they sort of balance damage by making them more inaccurate in a way. Let's turn off the soldering iron here. Back us out. Turn off the fan. But in that game, I really felt like you could just play whatever you wanted, and it really didn't matter as much as long as you were good at your unit. Which is, I think, ideally what you want in like a hero-based game, like Overwatch, like like Team Fortress 2 back in the day. Like it didn't matter that you played spy, like you weren't really like feeding as long as you were good at it. It didn't matter that you played pyro, like you know, as long as you're good at the hero, you can do whatever you want and still have like a massive impact on the game. And that's what I felt Gundam Evolution did really well. It's really unpolished, like the UI still needs work, point capturing. Some damage numbers in general just need to be tweaked, but it is going to be a good game, I think. I'm just gushing about this game because I really, really want to play it again. And the beta test is over, so I can't play it, and I'm sad. But I had a really good time with it. So, technically, this is a complete keyboard, and I can start typing on it, but it's a little bare. There's not really anything to it. So we'll put some keycaps on. We'll put the case on, so that we can have a nice looking keyboard. Case assembly. Also, I'm doing this so that it's easier to timestamp later on YouTube when I upload the VOD. Speaking of which, where did I put the case? Enjoying you gush. Thank you. It's not very often that I get to kind of info dump, and Gundam Evolution is just one of those things where it feels really nice to talk about. Like for background, I'm actually not too well versed in Gundam lore. Like that's more of my friends, but I really do like building Gunpla, which I've done a little bit and passed on stream, and also just I really like mechs in general. So being able to play a game like that where you can just choose whatever mech you want was really freaking cool. All right, so the case that I'm working with today, so it's actually made up of layers of stacked acrylic. So it's all these individual 3mm layers that all come together to make a case. I did do some pre-building, some pre-assembly. However, I've learned on when I was setting this up earlier, I actually kind of installed this wrong. So to show you what I mean, so on the bottom there's these 3 layers that are kind of like the foot to kind of put the keyboard at an angle. What I actually was supposed to do was supposed to put these screws, bring this up, these screws through this layer here. You can kind of see There's like a hole for the screws over here. So it's not something unrecoverable, we'll say that. But I did install this wrong. So let me get these out. 1, 2, 3, 4. But I really thought I was just going to slap everything in the case, call it a day. But we just can't have nice things like that. So we'll put this first layer on, kind of brush away some of the dust that's accumulated. I've had these parts for about 4 months, but I haven't been able to put this together because work is soul crushing. And that's just the truth of it. So it's supposed to be like this. I'm glad you understand. We got to be out here making a living so that I can afford fancy shiny new keyboards like this. We got to stay on that grind. There we go. Now it sits in like it's supposed to. And then we have this little spacer layer. Yes, I do need a hug, by the way. Thank you. I need a hug redeem. That's what I need. And I'll put these screws away because those are the wrong size of screws. Yeah, hobbies don't magically make money on their own. Like, if they did, they wouldn't even be hobbies anymore. And that's what I kind of dislike about nowadays, is like everybody's trying to make their hobby into like their side gig kind of a thing. No, it's supposed to be a hobby. It's supposed to not be another grind per se. Oop. Film. Oh, those are cute emotes. Very nice. Thank you. So, this next bit here, let me just flip this over so I can kind of give some context. So there's these 8 very large plastic bolts that are kind of holding this whole thing together. And then the plate slips on just like so. But if I assembled it just like this, it's plastic touching plastic, which might give like a little bit of rattling noise. So to mitigate that, what we're actually doing is we're putting these rubber, bring this close, these little rubber O-rings into the mix. There we go. So those will sit on top and on bottom of the on the top and bottom of the plate holes. I'll bring you back in a little bit. So these will kind of act as sort of like a gasket to hold everything in place. It also kind of makes the keyboard flex a little bit more when typing. So it's like less stiff, less harsh on the fingers. I'll be real, I wasn't originally a fan of like flexy keyboards because, again, I come from the era where everything was made out of stiff aluminum and metal and brass, all that kind of stuff. But I've come to enjoy the feel of a softer touch like this. All right, get in there. It'll all be worth it in the end, I promise. We're probably about 15-20 minutes away from completion, and then we can do some typing test ASMR type stuff. And believe me, I want to get to that part as much as you do. All right, so that first part goes on there. That goes on there. This sits on like so. There we go. So I'll kind of angle it up so you can kind of see, but when I press down, there's like a little bit of a bounce, a flex to this. So that's the intended effect here. Put that down, and it's a little bit more fixed now, so we can use the tweezers to kind of pop the rings down. There we go. Come on. So, Steph, what kind of things do you usually stream? I definitely want to check out what you do later here. Because for me, this is about half of what I stream. And then the other is like, more traditional, like gaming type stuff. Oh, yeah. Ooh, visual novels. Very cool. And the occasional craft stream. Awesome. Oh, speaking of, did you hear the new Type Moon novel the new Type Moon visual novel that's going to be releasing with like official English subtitles, which is wild because up until now, like with how big like the Fate series is, like it's wild that there still hasn't been like official like in English official English translations of the original visual novels. Crazy. Yeah, add to cart, exactly. It's nuts. There we go. It probably doesn't show on stream because of all the lighting, but this is supposed to be like a really dusty pink. It's just a little bit brighter because of all the lights on here. But yeah, I'm totally excited on that. I played the original Fate like years ago, but I haven't delved in beyond that. And at this point, there's like so many there's so many different routes and like extra bits and FGO. It's a little overwhelming, to be honest. The next visual novel that I was planning on playing is Tokyo Chronos, the VR visual novel, because I really like the character designer, Lam Sensei. I really like their stuff. And their designs, their VTubers. What am I doing hand screwing this in? Where's my... There we go. Get a flat, yeah, gotta get the flat head over here. I have to be really careful with these bolts too, because these are all plastic, and if I screw them in too hard, they'll, like, what's the word? The threads will strip, and the bolts will kind of become useless. So that's not good. Let's try and avoid that. Yeah, the threads are gonna break. I already learned my lesson. They included a extra like spare bolt, and this one had already broken. Like this one, well, it kind of spins freely in there, so it's a little unusable. So I already learned my lesson on that. Oop, I dropped something. The next bolt was at something I dropped. It is lost forever. Yeah, my floor has a tendency to swallow up like loose screws and stuff like that too. Like, thank goodness these are such large bolts, because if it was like a regular like M2 screw, it would be lost forever, definitely. Oop. A little too much juice on that. You know what? If anything else falls, we'll just ignore those noises. Just don't worry about it. Oop. Oh yeah, I gotta replace this bolt. This is the one where the thread's kind of stripped. So I'm like screwing it in, and then it just like kind of kicks back. But we'll ignore it, and hopefully the issue will solve itself. Two more to go after this, and then we'll be all good. But yeah, Tokyo Chronos, like, that's another one of those, like, oh, I'll do this when I get the time to, and then I never get time to. Because if I remember right, I think it's like somewhere between 5 to 10 hours. But I haven't had that kind of time lately. All right, so case is done. There's our USB-C port there. It's slightly transparent, as you can still see the PCB on the back. What we'll do before we start installing keycaps, though, put the screwdriver away for one, but I have to install the gotta install the feet on here because it's still kind of sliding around. You get some more water. Okay, good luck. Good luck with hydration. Just gonna put some cork feet on the back to stop this from sliding around. This is an additional. This is one of the fancy upgrades that you can get from P3D Store. I'll face it my way so I can see what I'm looking at here. Because otherwise you would use like regular rubber bump-on feet. But the cork feet make it so that there's a much larger foot, I guess. Yeah, there's a much larger foot that's like actually touching the desk. So it's going to be a lot sturdier. Well, not sturdy, but the board's going to be a lot less likely to slide around. I think I should be installing these the other way like this. Yeah. Yep. Okay, that's how I'm supposed to do it. Let me just flip this around. Or am I? Oh, I think for this one I do go ahead and install it this way. Okay. Yeah. All right. That makes sense. It doesn't make sense, but it makes sense. 2 cork feet for the front, and then we can go ahead and start installing keycaps. Center that up. One more. And there we go. There we go. So yeah, now that's a real stable look, or not look, real stable feel. It's not going to slide around or anything. Very cool. All right. Last bit. Installing keycaps. Big smiley face. All right, so here we are going to break out JTK Night Sakura. So for context, this was a group buy. I want to say the turnaround time on this was around a year or so. I think I bought it at the tail end of 2020, and then I received it in January 2022. So not a completely terrible turnaround time, especially with how shipping times are nowadays. But it's still taking quite a while for this to come to me. So let's open this up. How do I want to lay this out? I think I'll push these back. All right, I think that makes sense. And then the thing that I do like about the JTK trays that these came in is that they're stackable, and also they're really meant for display purposes. The other main double shot keycap company, which is GMK, they switched from plastic trays to foam, like styrofoam trays, which I get that they're more earth friendly, but I don't I wasn't recycling the original plastic trays anyway, because I was using them to store and display the keycaps. But now they are to the point of being like unusable for me, which kind of sucks. So I buy more blank JTK trays like this so that I can stack and display them. GH. So I will. Oop, hello. Kind of dropped a little heavy on there. So I do like the new molds that JTK has put on here. So these are a little bit different from GMK keycaps in that the actual like keycap legends are a little bit thicker than GMK. But the print quality is pretty good. Consistent, we'll say. They used to have problems with like some of the legends being like too thin or like kind of inconsistent like line width and stuff like that. Da-da-da. All right, so we've got the alpha keys on here. Let me grab the star of the show here, which are the novelty keys. And the space bars. But these are the extra cute bits that are going on here. Oop, oop, oop. And I'm messing them up. See, we got the Sakura theme enter key. There we go. What else am I going to put on here? Guess I'll put the pedal. Yeah, the pedal themed arrow keys, which are kind of cute. Returned. Welcome back. We're getting to the fun part now. We're putting keycaps on. And then we'll do typing tests, and then it will be a very good time for everybody. So we've got the novelty keys almost done. So the tori we'll go ahead and put right here. Or we won't put right there. I think it's going to go right here. Yep, we're right on the cusp of starting the clicks. Put the little dongo key right here. I'll put the sake cups here at the bottom. Because another function for these like novelty keys, other than looking really cute, is they are legend agnostic, which means in this case, because this keyboard is programmable, this could be anything. This could be my escape key, or this could be my like macros or whatever. Same thing for like this one right here, or this one, the sake cup. Normally this would kind of be like my enter key, but because this is a different size board than I usually use, the way I program this keyboard is going to be a little bit different. And then we'll also grab our space bars now. This is a split space bar setup. Oh, did I mess up here? I probably messed up here. This key is probably supposed to be a little bit more to the left. Let's take that out for now. And I'll fix that key later. Let's see, 2.25, 1.25, 2.75. So it checks out so far. Yeah, because that's supposed to fit right there in between. But there doesn't seem to be a location to solder the key down. But that was the only place that it could fit. We'll just put this here for now. We'll worry about it later. All right, just gotta finish putting on the rest of the keys, and then we are good to type. Got the caps lock, got the shift. Get in there. There we go. Control, Alt, and then I just need to grab the shift key. It's like a short shift. I can already tell this is going to be good. And shift key. You go there, and the backspace key goes there, and that is an fairly completed keyboard. The Training Wheel 40 by P3D Store in collaboration with Eternus, aka Noblesse Oblige. Now let's go to the fun part. Where is my... So why does this spacebar look like that? So a couple of reasons. I'll expound on that once I get this plugged in, make sure that it's all working. There we go. So a reason to split the spacebar like this is because when you work with smaller keyboards like this that don't have like a number row or like the F keys or anything like that, basically what we do is we hold a key down to act like a layer. So kind of like how on your phone keyboard you have like a button to like activate emojis or a button to activate numbers or symbols or anything like that. We kind of do the same thing here, and a very good way to activate layers is by using like the thumb keys. So like for example, I can hold this down while I type, and so instead of typing letters, like if I hold down this thumb key for example and type in Q, Q becomes 1, W becomes 2, E becomes 3. So that way I don't have to like strain my hand by like reaching up to the number keys to type numbers. I can just stay down here to type numbers. So that's why that's why it's like that. But I totally get why you ask, because everybody asks, and it doesn't make sense at first. Like, I'll tell you that. But the more... what was I going to say? Because we make keyboards for a reason, and for me personally, I always like keeping my hands here, like on the home row when I type, so that when I have to like press, like type numbers or, hit escape, I have to like move my hand out of the way. And it's, again, like out of the way. Like it's a little weird. It kind of like breaks up the flow, so to speak. So putting everything kind of closer to where my hands naturally rest, it's a little bit more comfortable in the long run. We'll say that. And then let me pull up my program here. So what I'm doing right now is I'm actually programming the keyboard right now. This is a program called Vial. So over there on the top half over here, this is the layout of my keyboard. And then, for example, over like this key right here, usually it's your caps lock, right? So, but I don't use caps lock because I don't really type capitals, So what I do is I'll set that to be my layer key, so that when I hold down caps lock with my pinky, I can start typing numbers instead by hitting key W, E, R, T, Y, that kind of stuff. It's a little unintuitive, and a lot of people don't do this, but I've been playing rhythm games, and so my left pinky is like a little bit more. Uh, my left pinky is like a little bit more independent from the rest of my fingers, so I get to use it as kind of its own thing. But let's pop this up. So this is monkey type. This is what we use to kind of do our typing tests and stuff like that. Let me turn down the BGM here, or just pause it. That works too. But I'll go ahead and set up my microphone next to the keyboard. We'll compare it to a regular click pen, and then here we go. Sorry. Just gotta set the mic fairly close to the microphone. Set this down here. All right, so again, this is the Training Wheel 40. These are Gatoron black switches. They've been lubed and filmed, and then this is in a plastic case with a palm plate. $108. Pretty good. Pretty good. Let's go. Do a next test. We'll do a full minute. A little bit more inconsistent, but what I can tell you so far, this keyboard feels really, really good. So, I mean, it sounds really good too. I'm sure you can hear it, but kind of what I was talking about earlier, how the keyboard kind of flexes, so it's like a little bit softer. That also translates into like a deeper sound. I might have to do a little bit of tuning on some of the larger keys. It is a little bit muffled, and that's also because of the modifications that I was doing earlier to it. but we'll kind of negotiate that later. Um, what else do I want to say about this? Now that it's all put together, like this is my first time seeing these keycaps inside this case. I really like this. Like this is pretty much what I was imagining when I kind of ordered the colors for the acrylic, when I ordered the keycaps, because these are, it's not like a super bright pink, it's kind of like a dusty sort of pink, so it's like a little bit more subtle of a look, like a rose goldish, rose goldish. But overall, I'm very happy with how this turned out. We could do like an actual quote. Let's see what else. Oh, Zen. That's just like type whatever. All right. Anyway, here we go again. .25% AFK. We gotta fix this consistency real quick. Let's try that again. Ding. All right, little trip ups, but yeah, overall this is a very satisfying experience. Ding. And then I'm very glad you like it. Hell, we'll do one more just for the hell of it. Okay, there we go. Oh, but I do want to show you. I kind of want to make a comparison to, say, a like a metal keyboard. Let me bring one out for you real quick. Ooh, I haven't typed this one out in a while. You gotta hold on, just one more round. Yeah, this is a real classic one. This one's called the Chiwi 60. So this one's actually a aluminum keyboard, and the plate is actually made out of brass. So let me just pull this one up for you. So yeah, I got that shiny brass layer in there. It also does have LEDs on the underside. Chewy 60. So this, I want to say, was like 3 or 4 years ago. This was one of my, like, what I thought would be one of my endgame keyboards. But in this hobby, there is no endgame. There's just more keyboards. Let's do next test. But here, let me, as a comparison, right? So there's that one. And here's this one. Yeah, I like, looks wise, I still really like this board. Like, if I could have this aesthetic in a smaller form factor, I would take it in a heartbeat. But because everything is a little bit stiffer, like it's metal and metal, and it's not gasketed at all, it is a little bit like higher of a pitch. And a big thing is the spacebar, because it's so huge, it's like boomy, it's like very echoey. I tried to put less force on the spacebar to make it not as obvious, but it's still pretty obvious. But there's definitely a very large difference between this versus the new hotness, so to speak. But yeah, I really just wanted to illustrate kind of the differences between styles of keyboard. It does look pretty though. You're 100% correct. Let's do a little side by side. It's kind of weird how the pinks, like, they're a lot closer on camera than they are in real life, because this is like a really pale dusty pink. This is like bright pink. I wouldn't say like hot pink just yet, but it's getting there. But yeah, let me just show you like a couple other builds that I've made, and then we can go ahead and just end stream for the day, because we've achieved our objective. I love it. So when I talk about I really like small keyboards, I really like small keyboards. So this is this one's called the Phoenix. I know it's not colored like a phoenix, but that's what the keyboard's called. So this is another 40% keyboard. Um, just zoom in there a little bit. But it's got that nice like pastel lavender purple sort of going on to it, and then hot pink on the legends. So this one is actually 3D printed. So this is an even softer plastic than the acrylic that I just made. Let me just pop this down here. And then also the Alex 40. So you'll notice it's kind of slanted, but this is a sort of ergonomic esque, so I don't have to like, so instead of my fingers going flat like this, I can curve my wrist out a little bit, so it's a little bit more natural of a feel, if not a natural look. This one's also an acrylic keyboard, but it's a lot thicker of a stack. Like that. But yeah, that's kind of like a preview of like what I try and do here. BGM. But yeah, I'll go ahead and call it for today. This has been about 2.5 hours. That sounds about fair. But yeah, thanks for stopping by. I'll definitely check out next time you stream stuff, and then also want to shout out Yuzupil, who resubbed, and also for Regalicious, who stopped by earlier and got to talk. He was like the designer of one of the other keyboards that I made called the Absinthe. So it was really cool to talk. Thanks for stopping by. I'll see you later.